Well, the Federal High Court has restrained the Zamfara House of Assembly and the Chief Judge of the state from taking steps to impeach the Deputy Governor of the state, Mahdi Gusau. Justice Obiora Igwatu gave the order while delivering the ruling in an application brought against the defendants by the People's Democratic Party. The judge ordered the defendants to maintain status quo pending the hearing of the motion on notice filed by the PDP against the impeachment process. He directed the PDP to serve all the defendants in the suit before Friday and adjourned the matter until July the 23rd.
All right, and now joining us to discuss all these issues and break them down is the Director of News, SUMNER SAMBO. By the way, congratulations. So we go on to the next
Yes, indeed, congratulations are in order.
Okay. Now, let me start with the PDP's case, which the court gave to Senator Ugochukwu and awarded a 10 million naira damages against Ozigbo, who the same day another court asked Inec to list as the candidate for the PDP election in November 16 in Anambra State. Break it down.
Well, thank you so much, Ngozi and Nendi. It's the day that we're seeing the courts actually redefining the political space. And it's a very sad development for the country in the sense that a lot of Nigerians are actually confused about what's going on. But let me come to your question, which you have asked right now. What the Oka High Court said is that Ugochukwu should actually be made the candidate of the PDP and that Valentine Ozigbo is not the candidate. And as a result of that, he should be replaced by Inec. Now, in that judgment, the court has said that the ward and local government primaries that were conducted by the People's Democratic Party with ward chairman and local government executive given their certificates before that of the state ESCO, which was meant to have held but which didn't hold, and then PDP now said that they were dissolving both the interim state chairman of PDP and then the local government and then the ward executive is the authentic one. Don't forget, that is the group of people that Senator Ugochukwu gathered together and conducted his own primary, saying that that act by the PDP to dissolve them was illegal because they had been given certificate of return as ward chairman elected and as local government executive elected. It was only the state chairman and his escorts that were interim. Now, Valentine Ozigbo used automatic delegates to determine his emergence because that was what the National Party had said. The National Headquarters had said. The National Headquarters said, since it had dissolved the state ESCOs, the local government ESCO, and then the ward ESCO, they should use automatic delegates. And that was what the Valentine Ozigbo primary held on to. And eventually, he emerged. Now, Senator Ugochukwu having run to the court, this judge is particularly stating that there was an existing court judgment that gave powers to those ward executive and local government executive that emerged, that even though the state ESCO of the PDP did not emerge, but nonetheless, the ward ESCO and then the local government ESCO emerged. So they should not be deprived of enjoying their 4-year tenure. While Valentine Ozigbo is saying that, look, his primary held and the automatic delegates made up of former ministers, former governors and all of that were brought in place to elect him in the absence of the dissolved state ESCO, which included the local governors, local government officials, and the ward ESCO. So well, that is how we have now ended up with 2 judgments by 2 judges.
I hope we're not more confused than when we began. Where does this leave Inec?
Well, Inec will have to decide which of the judgments it will pick. And whenever you have 2 judgments from 2 courts of competent jurisdiction, it is left for Inec to await a higher court judgment, which is usually the Court of Appeal, or sometimes if it gets to the Supreme Court, because it's a pre-election matter.
What does this all mean going forward for the PDP as things stand now?
It means generally that the PDP at this point in time cannot specifically point at one particular candidate that will fly its flag, because it's still subject to interpretation by INEC.
Before we run out of time, let's talk about APGA. The same day. Before now, Soludo was taking off the list by INEC. I remember you calling an INEC official in Anambra State to ask, do they have any faction? And he responded, I think it was Oyekomi.
Yes.
And he said there was no faction. INEC attended the primaries which Soludo won. But then he was knocked off the list, and today he was brought back as a candidate, and now he's the candidate.
Yes.
So break it down again.
No, he was knocked off the list because there was another judgment that recognized the Jude Okeke-led group, which INEC said is not a faction, but they said that based on court judgments, high court judgment that were secured from Jigawa, and Brendan Kudu, that INEC had to obey those judgments, and of course INEC did. But today we also saw INEC being forced by another high court judgment, this time around from Oka, because that judgment initially last week that forced INEC to recognize Chuma Umeoji as a candidate is still subsisting. So now, in this instance, what will INEC do? INEC will have to await another court of appeal judgment too, because we have two judgments of the same concurrent jurisdiction. So if this is the case, INEC will still have to await. Don't forget, there was an attempt by this group now, by the... No, not the Okeke. The
Joko?
No, not in Joko. His name is actually...
Umoji?
No.
Umoji is...
The actual candidate, the actual party chairman right now.
You have Oye for the...
Yes, sorry, Victor Oye. That's just what I wanted to say. The Victor Oye national leadership is the one that, had been adopted. And so if this is the case, then there's a big challenge at hand. And the big challenge now is that INEC will have to await the Court of Appeals judgment if it is eventually appealed.
And if care is not taken, is APC just waiting
APC is battling its own demons in between. They are settling in-house, and we all await to see how these parties will solve this problem. But I can tell you that it's not a good sign as we head towards 2023, because it means that the people may not end up electing their governor. It's the courts that may eventually get a governor for the people of Anambra, and it's not a good sign for democracy.
Thank you so much, SUMNER SAMBO.